Hello and welcome, Rahul. You're watching me on my YouTube channel Rahul Talks, and if you're watching me consistently, welcome back to my channel. See, whenever I come in front of you, I have a purpose. I want to instill positivity and I want to disseminate something valuable, because whenever you are scrolling up and down, you're investing your valuable time. And if you get some information which can be used, as a tool, as a mean to leverage and to capitalize on these skills and this data, it will certainly help you further in your future perspective and career perspective. And that is what is the reality. Everybody wants to make their livelihood better. Everybody wants to be in a better position in society, and that is why we should aspire to become one of the best. Not only physical achievement, but rather financial and all together. Spiritual ability. Everything is important. And most of the time I talk about ways and means how you can leverage. If you really want to make livelihood in a better way, you should earn money initially. Later on, you can do multiple things. Either you can invest your money to make more money, or you can make savings to make your livelihood better. Because most of the people are daily wage earners, or most of the people are job seekers that employ, and very few are businessmen. And businessmen, most of them are proprietorship business. They are doing little businesses, and they're involving themselves in that very activity fully and wholly. They are not able to do a businessman kind of business, where your time freedom you will have, where you will have financial ability and financial freedom as well. So such kind of businesses, yeah, later we can do that. But how to leverage on the resources that we have, if we are doing a job, how we can save more money, that is what we have to think. How to multiply more streams of income so that we can have better opportunity. If you are making one consistent income, suppose your salary is coming every month, how can you invest that salary, your savings in some kind of instruments where it can fetch you money for future use, because you want to gain financial independence at the time of your retirement, or before that. Some people want financial freedom. So if you really want to get that kind of financial freedom, where you should invest. Many people even don't know personal finance, how to invest their money, in which kind of instrument they should invest. Because nowadays market is very up and down, unpredictable, because of the war that is happening in the world. Everybody is speculating today that it may rise, and that stock, after 2 days or 3 days, that stock goes very down, downturn. And market is even sometimes unpredictable. Various market is speculated altogether. So what we should do, where should we invest, and this time it is important to understand exactly that if you will, for 2 years or 3 years, if you short period of time, if you are investing your money in FDs, those short period of times calls to be lesser than 1 year. But I'm telling you that for 2 or 3 years you should invest at least in consistent income that you can get in banks, in FD form. Because most of the mutual funds, even they are not performing, and most of the market trends we are looking after that. Even if you are investing in mutual funds, after 5 or 6 years, the trend is being reversed. The same asset management unit or asset manager is not able to provide you the same return that was being provided to you before 5 years in that very mutual fund. That is what we are witnessing. So where you should invest right now, it is the good time to invest in FDs. I can say that. But if you really want to leverage what kind of opportunities you have, you have multitude of opportunities. Even cryptocurrencies, though it is very volatile and very very risky. If you want to gamble your money, right now it is the time, because the market is very down, the cryptocurrency is very down. If you will invest in that, it may be dismantled, uprooted, or dissipate away, or it may after 5 years or 6 years, it will give you such return that it will make you a crorepati. That kind of gamble you can play. As previously it was happening, we were looking after that most of the people made money in stock market. Previously, when a stock price has gone strongly high within 2 or 3 years, they multiplied their investment. That is what was suitable before 5 years or 4 years. If you have invested in a stocks, it gave you a good return. And previous 10 years or 20 years is good for stock. But nowadays we are seeing that most of the return giving stocks are either volatile or stability. It is not fetching your money because of the market is volatile. So what you should do in a steel, what you should do, there are many opportunities. First of all, you should know exactly what are the opportunities you have. Even you can, if you want to do conventionally your investment, you can do in FDs, you can do in short saving schemes, small saving schemes like Suganya Samriddhi for your daughter, like PF, Provident Fund. So this will fetch you money, consistent money, 7 or 8 of in return. So it is not bad right now. If you watch and speculate the market, it is not fetching you that big money. Beyond that, if you wanted 12% earlier, 2 or 3 years before, you had good opportunity to invest in mutual funds. Mutual funds were also giving you good return, but nowadays people are talking about stocks and options and futures. Options and futures are good for institutional investments. Whatever trend we have seen in the history, we have seen institutional investors are making money in options and futures, whereas retail investors are losing their money in long term. It might be that 5 day or 6 day you will make profit. After that, after 10 days, you might lose all your money and all your profit. So it is not beneficial for retailer. But if you have good, really, if you are adept, if you are investing money in options and futures for from long time, you are speculating market and all that candlesticks and every knowledge of that very field, then you can take a hand, or you can speculate and you can invest. You can play your role in that very field, options and futures. But I would say, that cryptocurrency is not. If you really want to play a gamble, then right now is a good time. Cryptocurrency is not bad. If you invest in that, it will give you 1,000 times, 2,000 times of return. If you will be lucky, or you will be able to lose your money as well. So such a gain, such a risk is high. So all these instruments, if you have knowledge, you can do that. And nowadays, very facilities have come to you very easily. If you really want to avail any such kind of facilities or services, you can in minutes you can download all these apps and you can invest your money after doing KYC verifications. If you want to invest in stocks and stocks, and you have to understand exactly that you have to open a demat account. And if you really want to invest in mutual funds, you won't even need a demat account. Rather, you can invest directly after doing KYC through your bank account and mutual funds. Particular average NAV is decided for each and every mutual fund. Net asset value per unit, and whatever you invest, the units it will be given to you as per your investment. NAV will be there. If it will rise, then it will be, you will get benefited, and if it will go down, you will be at loss. And if you really want to invest in stocks, you can hold it in dematerialized form. 2 to 3 days, transaction is happening quite efficiently. That is what you have to understand. It is not a big thing and not a rocket science that you have to understand. But if you really want to play a role in options and futures, you have to gain some knowledge and experience. Then only you can make money. Otherwise, most of the retailers are they are going in downturn. They are not able to make profit. Institutional investors are making, but most of the very few people who are really good in speculating and investing in better way, who have knowledge, they can make a leverage even, because market trend is on a speculations. Most of the time, each and every share, if you really want to invest for a longer period of time, I will suggest you to look after their balance sheet, because if they have good assets, if their total asset is growing, then it is okay. If they have current assets and then current liabilities in ratio, good ratio, 1.25 below that, or above that, if current asset is more, but not less than 1. That is what is the benchmark that you have to see in current ratios. Current asset divided by current liability. And if you really want to get their balance sheet, where they are making profit or not each and every year, what is the trajectory of their profit making, because in public limited company, every balance sheet is disclosed every quarter. And if you have good knowledge about balance sheet, you can look after their profit after tax. You can look after their asset is growing or not, their current asset is there or not, what is their capital, what is their reserves and surplus is growing or not, profit is being made by company or not, everything, asset is there or not. If you can see that the trend and their balance sheet exactly, then your investment will not go volatile. Rather, it will have a strong chance to grow. But most of the times we are seeing that SDFC has done a little mistake. 5 or 6 bonds up there, they didn't fetch money. Rather, because it was market linked, it got volatile, and because of that, a huge asset making company SDFC, their chairman resigned on ethical reasons, but that became a catastrophic event for the SDFC, and many people are speculating bad. Their assets are being wiped out, their valuation is going down. So such a big mistake, a little mistake is because of the speculations and market trends. Big established company are getting down. But when we see about market is so volatile and so robust sometimes that as a investor, we can only speculate, but sometimes basic and fundamentals do not change. So if you really want to understand their basics, I will say you that go after their profit and loss statement, their balance sheets, their cash flows. And if you will read the balance sheet of a company in a better way, then you can invest your money in stocks for longer period of time. In long term, you will certainly good benefit, you'll be benefited, and you'll get good returns in long term. That is what people are suggesting. If you really want to invest in market, go for long term. Long term it will change your trajectory altogether. But right now, because of the wars, the chaos is happening and market is very volatile. That is what I want to say. So this time FD is not even bad. Thank you for listening to me.